Bridging Black and Blue. Written by Jasmine Poole. Edited by Brian Phillips. Illustrated by Ebony Chisholm Creel.
Hurry up, Noah. Get ready for school if you want me to drop you off before I go to work,
Dad said. As Dad was driving Noah to school, he spotted red and blue flashing police lights in his rearview mirror. "Oh boy, sit back, son, and don't reach for anything or make any sudden moves. Most of all, keep your mouth shut and look straight ahead." "Morning, sir. License and registration," the police officer said, sternly. "Hello, officer. Can I reach over to the glove box and get my registration card?" Dad slowly asked. Then the police officer responded saying, "Yeah, sure. But move slow and advise your son not to move." "Yes, sir." "Where are you fellas off to this morning?" the police officer asked. "I was on my way to drop my son off at school before work," Dad answered. Then, abruptly, the police officer received a call from the police station. "I'm going to need you to step out of the vehicle, sir," the police officer demanded. "Why is he doing this, Dad?" Noah asked, filled with nervousness. Then Dad told Noah, "Son, just relax. Everything is going to be okay. Don't worry. Just do what I told you and stay in the car." Then the people walking down the street began pulling out their phones and cars driving by, honking their horns. Each pedestrian on the sidewalk began recording the police officer using extreme force to pat down Noah's dad, while Noah sat inside the car fearfully. "Hands on the hood now!" the police officer yelled. "Is all of this even necessary, officer?" Dad asked. "Zip it, Mr. Johnson," the police officer replied. Dad loudly asked, "Who is Mr. Johnson?" "You're not Mr. Johnson?" the officer asked. "No, my last name is Smith, not Johnson," Dad exclaimed. "Oh, my apologies, sir. You fit the description of the man the police station just called in," the officer stated. "My apologies to you and your son for any inconvenience. Have a nice day." "Dad, why did the police officer treat you like that?" Noah asked. "Son, this is just the unfortunate reality we as black men have to be ready to face each time we walk out of the house." "Dad, I hate the police," Noah blurted. "Do not ever let me hear you say that again. We do not hate anyone. Hate only makes matters worse, son," Dad told Noah. "How do we change the way police treat us then, Dad?" "Well, son, first you have to educate yourself on the law. It is extremely important that you know your rights. I don't want you to grow up being another black male stereotype or statistic." "Dad, what does it mean to be a black male stereotype or statistic?" "It comes from the idea that men of color are only good for committing crimes and being violent, and that we will either end up in jail or die at an early age. I love you, son. That is why I'm striving to be a positive role model in your life. I am raising you to be educated and respectful to everyone, no matter who they are. I want you to beat the odds that are stacked against you. Remember, you have the ability to impact the world. You have the power to change the way the world views men of color. By staying out of trouble and focusing on your education, you can become a doctor, a lawyer, a politician, or even a police officer. Whatever you do in life, just remember, you can't change anything with hate. You have to lead with love, son. I will strive to do my best in school every day. I will not be another statistic, Dad. I love you. Later on that morning at school, Noah was at his locker and two of his best friends stopped to talk. Hey, Noah, do you want to roll with us to the mall after school? Aunt asked. Noah answered saying, Yeah, sure, guys. I just have to ask my parents when I get home to make sure it's cool. Then Aunt said, Okay, cool. I will ask my mom if she can drive us. After school, Noah was smiling ear to ear as he ran home from the bus stop. Upon arriving, he tossed his backpack and ran to the kitchen to go share the great news with his family. Hey, Mom! Hey, Grandma! Guess what? I got an A+ on my geometry test today. That is wonderful news, sweetheart. We are so proud of you, Mom said happily. My grandbaby is so smart. I knew you could do it, Grandma Eleanor shouted. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Grandma. So, Mom, Aunt and Seth, my friends from school, asked if I wanted to go hang out at the mall tonight. Can I go? Noah asked. Well, it's not a school night, and you did get an A+ on your test, so I don't see why not. Go ask your dad, though. I think he's in the garage. Okay, thanks, Mom, said Noah as he darted towards the garage. Hey, Dad. Hey, son. How was school today? School was great. I got an A+ on my geometry test. That's terrific. I'm proud of you, man. Thanks, Dad. Me and a few of my friends from school wanted to go hang out at the mall tonight. Can I go? Did you ask your mother? Yes. Mom said yeah. But she told me to check with you first, Noah said. Yes. I guess you can go. Be home before your curfew and make sure you text me when you make it there safely. Remember what we talked about earlier, son, Dad said firmly to Noah. Yes, sir. I won't forget. Thanks, Dad. See you later, Noah said as he was leaving the garage. As Noah and his friends walked around the crowded mall, they spotted their favorite store. Seth pointed and said, Let's check out Video Game Plus to see what new games were released. Aunt agreed and said, Yeah, hurry up, guys. Let's go see. Filled with excitement, Noah and his friends entered the store and began looking at the new video games. As they searched for games, the store manager kept his eyes on Noah and his friends. Guys, check it out. They have the new 2K, Seth said. The store manager asked, Hey, guys, can I help you with anything? Aunt replied by saying, No, we're just looking around. Okay. Let me know if you need help with anything. Once Noah and his friends finished looking at the video games, they decided to leave the store. As they walked through the entrance metal detectors, the alarm went off. Security! Security! Shouted the store manager. Then, out of nowhere, the mall security officer shouted, Hold it! Right there! Noah asked, Are you talking to us? Yes! You three. I knew you guys were troublemakers from the moment you walked in the store, the store manager exclaimed. We did not do anything wrong, Aunt yelled. So, what seems to be the problem? The security officer asked. The manager said, These three troublemakers were shoplifting, and the metal detectors went off as they were trying to leave the store. That is not true. He was watching us the whole time, Seth shouted. Noah interjected by saying, Guys, don't argue with them. The security cameras will prove that we were telling the truth. We can even walk through the metal detectors again to prove we are innocent. We also have the right to call our parents. Yeah, Noah is right, Seth said. Aunt said, Maybe it was the other kids who walked out of the store the same time as us. That's true. The store manager was so worried about following us that he never looked to see what the other kids were doing, Noah said to the security guard. Yeah, they stopped us and they let the other kids go. That isn't fair, Seth said. After taking a look at the security cameras, the store manager realized he made a mistake. I apologize for the misunderstanding, guys. I made a mistake. It's busy in here on a Friday night, the store manager said. Can you let us go now? Ann asked. The store manager said, Yes, we apologize for this misunderstanding. Have a nice day, fellas. Can you call your mom to come pick us up? I'm ready to go home, Aunt said. Seth replied by saying, Me too. I'll text my mom to let her know she could come pick us up. When Seth's mom arrived to pick up the boys, she noticed they were upset. Hey guys, how was the mall? It was absolutely horrible, Mom. When we went to the Video Game Plus store, we were accused of shoplifting by the store manager. Oh my goodness! I know you boys did not steal anything, did you? Noah responded saying, Of course not, Miss Clark. They just stereotyped us as kids who look like troublemakers, Seth explained. Listen, boys, sometimes people of color are wrongfully labeled by others. If you ever find yourself in a situation like that, again, just remain calm and ask to call your parents. I hate that security officer and store manager, Aunt said in anger. Noah quickly interjected and said, I understand where you're coming from. Earlier today, when my dad was taking me to school, we were stopped by a police officer, and I never felt so scared in my life. The police officer told my dad to step out of the car, and he didn't even do anything wrong. Afterwards, the police officer apologized and let us go because he made a mistake. I felt scared and angry just like you're feeling right now. The store manager and security officer were wrong about us, but we can't change anything by hating them. My dad told me that I have to continue to work hard in school and be respectful to everyone so I can show others that I don't fall into their stereotypes. He also said I have to learn my rights and remain polite because that is how we become the change we want to see. Okay, I'll try my best, Aunt replied. The next morning, Noah was in his room playing his video game. Come on, son. It's Saturday. It's time for you to get a haircut. Get dressed so we can head to the barbershop. Okay, cool, Noah replied. Every Saturday morning, the In the Cut barbershop is packed with young and old men from the community. For years, this barbershop has been a cornerstone in the community. It's a place to share wisdom and a space to talk about sports and politics. Dad takes Noah to the barbershop every Saturday morning, just like his father did for him when he was a boy.
Would you look at that? This police brutality has got to stop.
Mr. Earl said to the other men in the shop as he cut Noah's hair. Then Mr. Fred, who was playing checkers, yelled aloud,
You got that right. If it isn't the police killing us, it's us shooting each other. Enough is enough. This has got to stop.
Mr. Thomas shouted from the other side of the barbershop.
We have come a long way since the days when us old-timers marched with Dr. King. During the civil rights movement in the 1960s, we still have a long ways to go.
In that moment, Noah made a great suggestion. He said, I have a great idea. We should put together a peaceful protest and invite all the older and younger men in the community.
That's a great idea, Noah.
Mr. Earl replied. The event can help educate men and boys like us about our rights and promote the importance of building bridges between us and local law enforcement. Instead of resorting to violence, we can come up with ways to work together to combat all the stereotypes and misconceptions about us. This might even decrease the statistics of black men and boys ending up in jail or dead. Right away, all of the men in the barbershop began saying,
Right on, little man. Whatever you need, just let us know.
Knowledge is power. We have to stop and think, yelled Noah from the stage. The crowd began to clap and cheer. After the crowd began to quiet down, Dad said, It's important that we as fathers teach our sons how to be men. It is our duty as men to educate the youth about the law and their rights. We, as men in the community, have to encourage the next generation to stay in school and to help build our community. Boys, go to school, get good grades, be respectful, yelled Noah from the stage. Fathers, lead by example. Your sons are looking up to you, Dad shouted to the crowd. A local community activist got on the stage and said, If we want change, we have to come together, start voting, and attending community meetings. This is how we as a people can make a difference in our community. The chief of police took the stage and announced, The police department is here to protect and serve the community. We have decided to start an after-school program so we can help the youth and build positive relationships with the members of the community. The crowd roared with excitement. The people were shouting for joy and giving each other high fives and hugs. The chief went on to say, We need lawyers, doctors, politicians, business owners, and every man in this community to volunteer for this program so we can build bridges in our community. Enough is enough. Change begins with us, Noah said. Let's all work together as one to build bridges between us all, Dad said to the crowd as he shook hands with the chief of police. There was much excitement in the air as everyone could sense a new beginning. The community was excited to embark on this new journey, and Noah and his dad were extremely proud. The end.